second part of this school year. Do we have any anybody get married, hit the lottery, any news we want to share with anybody?
I had a really cute baby.
I know you did. I know you did. Congratulations. Welcome back. Welcome back. And anything else anybody want to share?
You know, Ashley had her baby, Kelly Michelle.
That's right. Had her baby.
The day after we got out.
She worked out well. Tell you what, when I was, y'all know I was born and raised up north in Cleveland, and you know, I came down here, and first time I ever been south was when I come down here and started working over in South Carolina. I'm just telling you Carolina women are a lot different than the northern women. I'm telling you what, y'all work all the way up to you about to deliver the baby, and then it's just a toughness about you southern women. I tell you, it's a difference, and I can compare the two, and I know. So, you know, you meet that Southern Belle, y'all know the story. I was coming down for a couple of years, you meet Southern Belle, and I'm locked in over 30 years. We got a new addition to our family. Stand up, introduce yourself, and she's not old to the district. She's just new to us. I'm gonna give you the floor, Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson is working with Mr. Underwood and Miss Owens, and she's working with David and doing an outstanding job with David. So Miss Jackson is coming on board, so let's just welcome her to the faculty. So we're happy to have you here with us officially. When I talked to Ms. Jackson, we you know, had to get some situations from on the bus. Ms. Conaway was short bus driver, so they didn't want to pull Ms. Jackson until he can bone up his bus driving. So I told her, I said, listen, we're not paying so you don't have to come. And she volunteered and came to work every day for about a month. Volunteered, so to make sure that she built that relationship with David, so we certainly appreciate that. And I just wanted to thank you publicly for doing that on your own time. All right, here's the agenda. Basically, this morning, we're just going to cover the data, just update you on, so you can kind of see why we do what we do. You know, our CCRPI report came out. So we'll look at that data, and we'll look at our, you know, we had, Dr. Hinton had us start doing that school-wide data last year. We'll look at that. This is the information that is reported to her at the board and goes on the in her data room. And also, we're gonna look at our yearly plan, our SIP plan. Student improvement plan. This is something that the advisory team always works on. We start working on it in the summer. Do what we can to finalize it, and then it's tweaked and everything, and then the administrative staff, we have to meet with Dr. Hinton and go over the student improvement plan. So we're going to look at those things this morning. After that, you can kind of work in your classrooms and get your stuff together. Verification sheets are due Wednesday morning. I purposely did not bother you. If we didn't get anything from the board, I purposely did not bother you so that we can go ahead and make those grade verification sheets a priority, and we can go ahead and get those in. It'll help Ms. Jackson to go ahead and do what she needs to do in order to get these report cards ready. So we have, that needs to be a priority. I know you're getting ready for the kids and coming back, and that's fine, but the quicker we can get those verification sheets in, the better. Lunch, and then we have bus driver training. Again, didn't want to bog you down with a whole bunch of meetings and stuff, so you give you all day today to do what you need to do. Then at 3, we'll come back together, we'll do our TEACS mid-year conference, and then at 3:45, we're gonna dismiss, because I know, according to Miss Gedding's email, 3:45, she wants to be running out there door to get home to that new baby. So we certainly don't want to, we're going to be out here 3:44 for you today, so you can get home and see that precious baby. All right? All right. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead on and start reports. All right, this is our 2016-17 school improvement plan. Is that large enough for everybody to see? All right, we have SMART goals, and I think we have 7. And when we talk about our SMART goals, we look at things that we think we want to improve upon. And then down here, we look at the data to suggest why we choose that SMART goal, okay? So SMART goal 1 is to increase the reading inventory Lexile scores by 100 points from August to May in our 9th, 10th, 11th grade, leading to improvement in the CCRPI points for Lexile scores. All right, and here are the percentages, and I'm not going to go, y'all just look at it as I talk about it. Here are the percentages that we're talking about increasing the 16, 17, 17, 18, and 18, 19. So you see this is a 3-year plan. So it's basically 30, 33 to 36. So that's where all of these reading classes come in, all of the, we've got that reading grant, Striving Readers. Well, incidentally, we got a Striving Readers Conference next week. Is it Monday and Tuesday? Mm-hmm. Monday and Tuesday is about 10 of us, 10 or so going. So Monday and Tuesday, we'll have a lot of subs in the building. But this is a 3-year period of where we're trying to go. And then it says, what school level data suggests? We look at our milestone indicators for literacy. We look at our 9th grade literacy milestone, where 21% were at or above level Lexiles. In 11th grade literature, 27% were at or above Lexile. So that was the purpose of that SMART goal right there, okay? All right, and there's the chart of that, okay? And this is basically how we're going to do it. This is basically how we're going to do it. And then here are the sources, and here are the artifacts that we're going to check and make sure that it's getting done. And then those are that's the evidence. Okay, so that's how that school improvement plan is set. So that's why we do what we do as far as Lexiles and reading is concerned. All right, our second SMART goal. We will increase our CCRPI score from a 68.7 in 2014 to a 71, 15-16 to a 72 in 16-17 and to a 74 in 17-18. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's basically a 4-year plan. And why we're going to do it, this is what suggests that needs to be done. And then this is how we're going to do it. Okay, so we've got our strands and domains, we've got our actions and strategies, increase dual enrollment, increased number of students enrolled in our, which we got to get our ACT, SAT classes back going. Scroll up a little bit more, please. And go down, so go back. All right, and then over here is our evidence. Okay, so we'll look at our CCRPI score when it comes out, and that's where we get our evidence from. I don't really know a good place to stand. Can y'all all see okay between the two boards? Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So our third SMART goal is, as you know, it was, and you'll see in our CCRPI data when I show it to you, it was 10 or less days of school. Then last year, they dropped it to 6. So just when we were at 90-something% of kids missing 10 or less 10 or more, 10 or less school days, then they change the numbers on it, so it's 6. So that's why that attendance recovery and all of that kind of stuff is in place. And our goal is students, number of students missing 6 or more school days will decrease from 451 to 444 to 432, which is a 2% decrease each year. So when you see us doing different things on attendance, that's what that is. And for the past 3 years, over 450 students have missed 6 or more days of school. All right. So our number was 10, now our number is 6. And these are all the strategies and things of how we're going to do it. We do the student awards for perfect attendance on honors night. Here's our artifacts, and that's what we're trying to do again, is decrease the number of students missing school. All right. If you got any questions, just yell it out. All right, our 4th SMART goal is the staff and student body of WCHS will increase stakeholder involvement by implementing community service projects centered around supporting the community. Washington County High School will increase involvement with community stakeholders. We went 4, 15, 16 to 5 to 6. I think, and y'all know with school improvement plans, when you do a school improvement plan, once you've accomplished that goal and you feel pretty good about that goal and it becomes standard operating procedure, it's just the way that you do business, then you remove that goal. This is one, I think, with all the different clubs. I know we had an article with the troops, and then we do the, okay. Then we do, then we do the different things with ROTC, you know, just with the different things with the nursing homes and things like that. I think, and just what our clubs do in general and what we do in general, recognizing the business of the month and trying to get more community involved. And I know there's some things I'm leaving out. I know our ambassadors do a lot of community involvement stuff. So I think this goal, just the way we do business, it may be replaced with something else. All right. But this is how we do it. Interact Club, do the blood drive, appreciation letters to businesses. You know, here's our artifacts, and these are our ways that we're going to do it. All right, thank you. Anchor Club, you see all of that. All right, SMART Goal 5. Students will write 4 times a year using multi-text level 4 depth of knowledge activities. That's why we do the writing. This is why we do the writing across the curriculum. And then we also, in our English classes, we do the 4 times the writing. And this is the data that suggests why we need to do it, all right? Because if you look at it on our reports, here's our extended writing task. These are the domains that they look at on the CCRPI. And so you got your extended writing, you got using ideas, organizations, and then language uses and convention, and then narrative writing responses. And then you can see, here's our 9th grade, and here's our 11th grade, and here's our percentages. So in our English classes, when they're looking at writing, they look at the data, and it tells them where they need to spend the most time at. And that's why it's so important to look at that data. All right. And we are doing that writing. Ms. Johnson, just tell us, how are we meeting that objective? I know we do it 4 times a year. I know we is it through essays or?
We've been using document-based questions where we cite evidence from the text and all that. We did the mock writing test.
Right.
Pretty much, besides very constructive responses, we do those a lot. We spend a lot of time, answering questions with evidence, because that's what the milestone requires us to do.
Right,
So
right.
we've done that a lot.
Right.
So much that we didn't get a whole lot of.
Right. But it's the big, it's the, go back to the, the 4 times, the basically 4 times a year is some type of large writing. Because I know all of you all do, you know, everybody across the curriculum, you know, y'all do some type of writing, you know, every day, and whether it's constructive response on your test, whether it's some type of writing in your classes and things like that. But the 4 times a year is some type of big essay type writing. I didn't mean to put you on the spot
It's
like that.
okay, we just
but-
make sure it's constructive response type with evidence, because that's, you know, kind of what they're required to do, and they
Right.
have trouble with it. So our extended writing assignments have included where they have to write evidence.
Evidence, right. Okay, thank you. And this gives you an idea of why we do the things that we do. Okay, this is why we do the things that we do, and because it's part of our school improvement plan. And then when we're reporting up, or we're having these meetings with the superintendent, and she's reporting all this to the board, this is kind of our game plan. All right. Total number of discipline referrals will decrease yearly by 3%, from 808, 1516 to 760, 1718, and 737, 1819. Now, y'all keep in mind, well, I don't know if you do know, anything from the alternative school, any referrals or anything that comes from the alternative school rolls into our numbers. So, even though this year I made sure that I look at them differently, but when you're talking about totals, all of that rolls into our numbers, okay? So that's why Ms. Hart and I do a lot of communication when it comes to discipline. And this is what the data suggests. Data from the previous years shows a large number of referrals, 808 and 16, 1554 and 15, 2240 and 14, 3089 and 15. That's the number of referrals that we had. In 16, 23 students in grades 9 through 12 had 10 or more referrals, 26 in 15, and 32 students in 2014, and 40 students in 2013 had 9 or more referrals. All right, and then in the SACS purpose and direction for student survey indicated a score of 3.15 for adults treating students with respect, and a score of 3.1 for students treating adults with respect. Y'all remember that was kind of Dr. Hinton's in her opening address. She talked about respect and the like thereof from adults as well as students was one of the big indicators.
Which referrals does that include? All referrals, counselor, 1 hour?
Well, that is a survey.
Oh, okay.
So you had the referrals, but to answer your question, that's all referrals. That's included into those earlier numbers. And then in the surveys, that's where the disrespect thing came up. With adults disrespecting students, that's what students were saying in their surveys. And of course, the biggest thing adults saying in the building is students being disrespectful to adults. So that's something, that's why that goal was in there, other than looking at the number of discipline referrals, really working on the respect there. And, you know, that's something that each of us have to try to work on that, because perception is reality. Whether, you know, that's what students feel, that's what adults feel. So that's something we just have to try to work on. All right, and then SMART Goal 1. increase 31 to 33 to 35 to 37 to 39, okay? And this is why the data suggested that that needed to be a SMART goal, and these are the different strategies and things that we're going to do to achieve that goal, okay? All right. That's it. So that's our student improvement plan. That kind of gives you an idea of why we do what we do and how we got to those 7 SMART goals. And like I said, this is a living, breathing document. It changes all the time. At the end of the year, we'll look at the data, and then when we look at the data, we'll look at the SMART goals and we'll determine, like I said, community service. Once that becomes standard operating procedure, then we change and we adjust. Any questions on the SIP? All right, a CCRPI report has come out, and this is just a spreadsheet that lets us know from 2012 and how we've improved to 2016. Twisted up and down. Because to me, that looks like it's going up, but actually it's going down. But anyway, but this just gives us an idea from 1 year, from 2012 to 2016, of how we're doing as far as the CCRPI report is concerned. And bottom line is, this is what your school is basically. This is your school report card. This is what you're basically judged on. Now, even though it has basically our English, math, science, and social studies and economics, those reports are in there, but everybody has a hand in helping our CCRPI reports either increase or decrease just by the different things that you do. Reading, writing across the curriculum, and things like that. And there's CTAE, there's numbers in there. And y'all know the CCRPI report is broken up into different domains, because you have an achievement score, then you have student with disability score, you have scores where you're doing extra things in there. In 2015, when the milestone came, that's when everybody was talking about, because they changed the test and added more rigor. Y'all remember all that conversation with they looked at the milestone, they looked at the NAEP test, which is a national test, compared it to the milestone. And in Georgia, when you look at the national test as opposed to the milestone test, well, not the milestone, the test before the milestone, they was talking about it was off because in one subject area on the Georgia test, the students were really achieving real high, like in the 80s and 90s. I can remember English in Georgia, 80s and 90s. But then when you look at the national test, the cut scores, they were saying was just so wide that in Georgia it was showing that the Georgia kids were achieving real well, but then when you look nationally, they were not. So what they went back in 2015, they went back and added more rigor to the Georgia test to close the gap between the national test and the Georgia test. That makes sense. That's about clear as mud. Okay. But that's what happened. So that happened in 2015, and so you see the achievement point, they were talking about it was gonna be a big dip and all of that kind of stuff, okay? So here we are, 5 years, that report just come out, and this is always lagging data, because here we are in 2017, and a report for 2016 just come out, all right? So this is, you got achievement points, you got progress points, you got achievement gap points, you got student with disability points, you got exceeding the bar, and then you got challenge points. Those are the categories. Of all of these categories is what make up your overall CCRPI score. And in those categories, you have, you get points, okay? And this is where we were as far as achievement points. Here we were in 2012, we took a little dip here, now we on the climb. We on the climb back up. But look at our progress points. In our progress points, and then reconfigure formulas and all that kind of stuff. And here's our progress points. As you can see, they started going up, so they're making an improvement there. Achievement gap, closing achievement gap. Of course, from when the milestone kicked in to where we are in 2016. So those are increases. So as you can see, we've increased in 3 of those categories. Students with disabilities, I mean, look at that increase. And where we've made adjustments and things with our students with disabilities, because y'all know I used to, you know, we used to look when Audra had the little data room back there, and we looked at it, we were in a steadily incline, and the thing was going off the chart. And we made some changes and started doing some things a little differently. For example, we last year, we actually looked at students, looked at teachers that had like dual certification, like Coach English, and then Coach Stevens went back. I know Stacy has dual certification, like what I mean, like in math and special ed. Ms. McCaskill, like in biology and special ed, and U.S. history and special ed, and then Coach Stevens went back and got his history and social studies certification. So what that did, that enabled us to do some resource, what we call resource classes, where we still have our co-taught, because by law we still have to do the co-taught. 80% has to be co-taught. She always keeps me straight on those numbers, so I'm not breaking the laws around here. So then we were able to look at 20% of the kids and produce some resource classes. And of course, that happened last year, and you can see where we've made a positive, jump as far as our students with disability and their points. Because we were 3.36 points. We didn't get anything in 14. We were 1.8 in 2015, and we jumped to 4.4. And with us increasing these resource classes, I'm looking for that number to go even higher. Exceeding the bar, you know, we got to work on that a little bit, but they don't really give you a lot of points. You get zero, you get half a point. I mean, you can do a whole lot of stuff, and all you're gonna get is a half a point.
What goes in exceeding the bar?
Exceeding the bar is stuff like the number of students that exceeded on that didn't exceed on the milestone. The number of graduates that what's some of the other stuff that exceeded the bar? Yeah, AP exams, you get 4 more on the AP exam and things like that. SAT and stuff like that. And then challenge points. Another thing is our mentoring program goes into exceeding the bar as well. All right, here's our CCRPI scores in 2012, 13, 14, and then we went to 68 and 15, and then we had a tremendous jump in in 16. 15 school year, and here's 16, 75.4. And I want you to know that exceeds the state average. I think the state average was 72 or something like that. So congratulations. I know you all are the ones in the trenches. And this is why we do what we do. You wonder, because all I do is we look at the data and we make adjustments based on the data. So I just want to kind of show you the data. Individually, as far as by grade, I'll send this out to the department chairs, and if you want to, because it'll break it down individually as we go up, and if you want to kind of look at your department and want to see how you've done from 2012 to 2016, I'll send this report out to you. Just stroll up quickly and see it breaks it down. Keep going. Just breaks it down by grades. Keep going. And then, so if you want to look at it by grade, keep going to, all right, stop. Let me see something here. Here's the Lexile stuff. Okay, this is why we do those reading classes, and we do those, we have to read, because you see our Lexile performance. Here's 2012, 13, 14. We started at Striving Readers and really started concentrating on increasing these Lexile scores, and that's what the data shows. So the data shows that what we're doing is working. Okay? And we want to keep increasing these things. And as you can see, here's the possible points here. And where we were only getting 2 points, we jumped up to 4 and almost 5. So we're almost halfway there. Okay, and all of these points count towards your thing. The EOCT, that's what I was trying to think of. The EOCT, as you can see, it increases. So what we're doing, we're going in the right direction. And as you can see, here the point totals. This is where it changed, where you see that dip is where it changed to the milestone. So that's where that rigor, that's why you see such a dip. That's where that rigor came in. Attendance, we talked about that as far as 6 days. Okay, graduation rates. Here's our 4-year graduation rate. Here we were 2012, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And that, when you look at that like that, y'all been working. When you look at this, and you look at over the years, it kind of put it in perspective that you all have been working. That's tremendous. That's tremendous to see that improvement right there.
Hey, Coach,
Yes, sir.
Didn't somebody from another school was telling me, didn't we make some like top list of graduation rate for all schools?
I'm sure we did. I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, somebody was telling us all way up there.
I know that, of course, as, my competitive nature, I always pull up and compare it with different schools like ours, and even schools that's not like ours. And I'm telling you what, we hold our own. And that's congratulations to you all and all of you all's hard work that you do. And here you see your points. I mean, we about maxed out on graduation rate, okay? And this is what this school is graded on. When you're looking and seeing if the job is getting done and what the teachers are doing and taxpayers, this report goes out to God and everybody. You can go on the website and pull this report up. And so when they start talking about the that school, that Amendment 1, when they were talking about the schools taking over, well, if you haven't been watching the news, that didn't pass, but they're still trying to maneuver behind the scenes and change the word of it, but they still gonna try to make it happen. But if we stay up in 75, it doesn't matter what they pass, it won't affect us, okay? Our 5th year graduation rate, this is what we do over the summer. When the kids come in, we have a few students that didn't quite get it, and they come in over the summer. They count that. So as you can see, we've steadily increased that, and that's where we were on our 5th year. So it's a steady increase. All right, here's your points that you earned, and we about maxed out on our points there. All right, go ahead, Al. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was looking for, go ahead. I was looking for, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Okay, here it is. That's what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about everybody, here's our work-based learning and our capstone. The reason why, when they say we have to do that, you know, we do our capstone project through our English department, and that's the part, and then our work-based learning program through our CTAE department. You know, that's where all that stuff falls. You even get points for that. Now, you can see, of course, somewhere they missed us right there. I don't know what happened. But this is when we started the capstones, and for some reason, 91%, but I know that's going to increase in 2017. But all of that stuff you do, and these English teachers can tell you, and Ms. Tice can tell you, the possible point is a half a point. Exactly. But we still have to do it to get that half a point, because all that adds up into your total score. So that's you know, world language, we don't have, we only have 2 foreign languages, 1 and 2. SL, go up. SLDS clicks. Why do we do those clicks? All right, we get a half a point. We got a half a point coming. We do more clicks than anybody in the state. Where's my clicks? All right, so we got our half a point. I know we do. So we got our half a point. But for all of those clicks, you get a half a point. But it goes into the big picture. So that's why those clicks are so important.
Doctor.
Ma'am? Sir?
They're ready for you.
They ready for me over there? Okay. All right. All right, go. Okay, good. So what we'll do is we'll send this out. We'll send this out to you. And if you want to kind of look at your department a little more specifically, you can. All right, but I was going to do the school-wide data, but I think I got a meeting over I got a meeting over the board office. We'll pick that up this afternoon. But the school-wide data is just talking about stuff that affect us in Washington County High School. And again, that feeds into the board, and then if you're ever over there and you go into the data room, you can see ours placed up on the board. Okay? All right. Anything else? Did I leave anything else out? Any questions about anything? Again, please, let's just make, did I leave anything out? Please, let's just make these grade verification sheets a priority. Let's get those in and look at them and make sure that they match. Look at them and make sure that they match. And I think as a school, not individually, some of y'all do a great job with getting those grades in on time. But school-wide, we don't do such a great job. Because remember, we got parents that's checking those portals. We had quite a few right here at the end of makeup. We had some that hadn't touched their grade book, but I'll be talking to these people individually. But we had some that hadn't touched their grade books for like 4 or 5 weeks. And how that happened, I don't understand. But of course, all that don't come out until we try to beat a deadline. So just keep in mind, because I know I'm a parent and I check that portal. And just keep in mind, if you don't do it for yourself, remember, as a parent, I check that portal. And it's no more frustrating than me to look at that portal one day and thinking, okay, Ashley's grades is this, and then grades come out, and I look at every portal, and somebody done stuck in 4 68s and zeros and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and nothing is more frustrating to me is to look at that and then all of a sudden those grades change. And the only one that can answer that question is the person that's putting the grades in. So in our handbook, we have time frames where we need to get the grades in. We can do our best to do it, but not opening a grade book or not putting a grade in for 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, but we'll have those individual conversations. But I think, yes, sir.
Hey, Coach, just real quick on that mandatory training for the coaches, the CDL. Do we have a location yet?
Here.
It's going to be in the
trophy room. We've got the manuals and everything. Ms. Smith came up, and we got enough manuals for everybody. So it'll be in here, the bus driving training. Or anybody else? Anybody else interested in? If you're interested in getting the CDL, 1 o'clock in here. If you're just interested in it, we're gonna do the training in here. It's mandatory for coaches, but everybody else, if you're just interested in it, then that'll be fine. All right. Thank you so much.